Hello, welcome back to the Code Chic. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to create your first GitHub repository. First, we go to github.com and make sure you are logged in. If you're not logged in, just simply click on the sign in button on your homepage on GitHub and then you log in. If you don't know how to create an account of GitHub on GitHub, watch my previous video on how to create an account on GitHub. So when you're logged in, as you can see here, I'm already logged in. You see a button, create GitHub repository, create repository. If you don't see this, you simply come here on the plus icon. You can see there is new repository. So we simply click on new repository and then you give your repository a name. So I'll call it the Code Chic. I'll just call it the Code Chic Design Agency. And then you write the description. The description basically describes what your project is about. So we shall leave the repository public, and then you can add a readme if you want to. So I can ignore this and then we create a repository. There we go. So our repository is created. So it only has a readme file in it. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clone this repository. I'm going to make a copy of it to our local computer. So I'll just click this and copy this and then come back to my desktop, and I'll just I'll right click and Git Bash it here. Alright, so we're on the desktop. I'll simply type git clone and then I'll paste the link to the repository that I copied and press enter. So we are done cloning. You realize that the entire folder is created here on the desktop. So to make changes to this, I'll simply open my VS Code. Alright, so we have the Code Chic Design Agency there on the desktop. So we simply go to File, open folder, and then choose the folder that you want to work on and select folder. So we have a few changes in this folder. You realize that GitHub is tracking the changes. For example, the M on the readme file means that modified, and then I created a new file called index.html, which is that means that it is still untracked, and the same to the folders that were created here. So we can make changes to this file. We can add an index file and put a dummy HTML page there. So now I'm going to show you how to push all these changes back to GitHub. So first, these are the changes we have. These are the changes we made to the file. Just a simple HTML document. So that is it. So remember, at first we only had the readme file, but now we have added other files and folder. So I'm going to show you how to push it back to GitHub. So first you open terminal, or you press Ctrl Shift and that sign. So we shall do git status. This shows us the status of the changes we made. For example, we modified readme file, and then there are furthermore untracked files here. So what we are going to do, we shall do git add and then dot. So this command tells Git to add all the files. That dot means that add all the files and folders. Press enter. So you realize that the new files changed here to A. That means that the files have been added. So we can do that again by doing git status. So it tells you that these files are now being tracked. So after git adding, we commit the changes. So we do git commit and dash M standing for message, and then we write a commit message. The commit message has to be descriptive. So we added new files index.html and modified readme file, then close and press enter. So now we realize that all these have disappeared. That means now Git is now tracking these changes and we have committed our changes. So next is we check again Git status. So we see we have one commit left, so we are left with one thing, Git push. So we are pushing back to our repository. So we have Git remote -v to check the repository we are working on. So we have this repository, so we are just going to do a Git push. So let's do Git push. Make sure you have an internet connection. So it will prompt you to sign in. Complete authentication in your browser. Authorize. Then put in your password. So we come back here. So we have our work completely pushed to GitHub. So when we go to GitHub and refresh, we should be able to see these changes right in our work, and it shows that modified readme 14 minutes ago and all the commit messages here. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please write it down in the comment. Subscribe